up, what up, what up, what up?
What's up?
Once again, y'all know what it is. It's Monday, man. You see my big face on the screen and this beautiful young lady. You already know what time it is.
Thank you. What time it is? I miss you guys so much. We've been on for, it feels like forever.
And it was just 1 week, too.
It feels like 2, 3, it feels like forever. When you're doing something you love, I tell you miss it just like.
It ain't like work. Because when you go to work, you be gone for a whole week and it feel like you just left.
Yeah, exactly. So this is, when you're doing what you love,
that's how
you miss it.
Well, so just for the record, for any new listeners, and viewers, this is the Buzy With B, Buzy With B and Boo show, coming at you live from ListenVisionLive.com, Listen Vision Studios, right here on Big Bad Georgia Avenue.
Thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Where can they find you, though?
Who want to find me?
Where's someone find you and look you up? Make sure you guys following me on Facebook and Instagram, and we always looking for entrepreneurs to come on the show and inspire, motivate. We have a great chef joining us in the building today. We hoping he making it. I know he said he was in traffic, so he has been in contact. But his name is Keyshawn Winston. He's going to come. He cooked for the Obamas, y'all. He bringing some good old food to the studio.
I got my appetite. That's all I know.
Yeah, and we got so much to talk about.
There's a lot going on right now.
There's so much to talk about. It's been weeks since we've been in the building. So we got a lot to catch up on. And please forgive me if y'all see me shifting a lot.
we understand. You got a good excuse for making sure you got comfortable.
I can never get comfortable, guys. So just work with me and forgive me in advance.
So what we talking? What you want to start with, man? It's a lot, man.
We can. I think wherever we start is all good, but. Let's start with just talking about the security guard that got shot by the cops in Chicago.
Jamel Robertson, I believe that's how you spell his name. Jamel Robertson. For anybody that don't know, I'm sure all y'all have heard about the young man. Jamel Robertson was the security guard at a club, I believe, or like a lounge or something. Some fools got into it, whatever. The police were called. The police roll up there. He's a legally armed security. When the police rolled up on him, they shot and killed him.
So before it got to that point, Jamel, he subdued the suspect who had already opened fire. So I don't know how he even did that without shooting the guy himself.
Right, or getting shot.
Or getting shot himself. But by the time the cops got there, they just saw Jamel on top of him, knees in the back, and some witnesses say with warning, they warned him and told him put down the gun. And then others say he didn't have any warning, but you can clearly, people said that, that's a security guard.
That's what they said. Everybody out there was saying.
Yeah, they were screaming, he's a security guard, he's a security guard. However, all of that went unnoticed, not paid attention to. And he was shot down and killed and doing his job. And no one is talking about the fact that this man could save lives.
And he didn't have to do that. How many dudes out here working? I've worked security jobs before at clubs and stuff. Never was I armed, but I have worked everything from go-go's to parties, whatever.
You look like a big security guy.
I'm telling you, most people ain't risking their life and their limb. If people been shooting and stuff,
right.
Nah. So for this man to do that and risk, his safety, whatever, to try to help out, whatever, and then end up getting killed by the police.
The police have not been charged or anything in the case of Jamel. He's on paid leave right now. And I wanted to also bring up the fact that we talk a lot about Kanye. We talk a lot about Kanye on the bad stuff, but Kanye donated over $150,000 to the family.
Yeah, that was cool.
Cool. That's just.
It don't mean the boy ain't crazy and nutty buddy.
A little crazy though. That's what I'm saying.
But it's good that he donated that money to the family.
Everybody a little crazy.
The two can coexist now. He could be. Very charitable and all that for worthy causes, but he can also be a Looney Tunes as well.
Right. Yeah, it keeps it interesting. Nobody want nobody.
But he deserved, just like we will blast him for all the stuff crazy he say or do, he need to be blasted and figuratively for this. Yeah. Like, we all need to be talking about him doing that.
Something good.
Yeah, man, something good. Absolutely. Well, rest in peace to that young man and blessings to his family, because I know they hurting right now.
And I just
to lose a loved one like that.
Pay attention to what's going on. No one is exempt. You know, and a lot of times people think you make it to a certain level, you still are black. You know, so I mean, we aren't exempt. You know, your husband, your wife, we out here working hard. We can get pulled over today or tomorrow, and we confused about instructions. Know what to do, you know, and do your best to, you know, follow instructions. Because just off the color of your skin, the tone of your complexion, you know, officers or, you know, people of other cultures are intimidated. It doesn't matter if you are a woman or a man, but woman or child. Yeah, it does not matter. They are intimidated just by the color of your skin.
It's the same. We got to teach. That's part of growing. You know, your kids, the things you teach your kids growing up is how to handle the police and how not to get yourself shot.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and have those conversations early and right now have those conversations.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the wildfires.
We hate to continue to be doom and gloom, but another major thing.
What's going on right
another
now.
major thing in the country is the wildfires out in California. 80 plus people confirmed dead, and over another 100 or so still missing and not accounted for, and
over 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000. Yeah.
And not accounted for.
And now officials are even saying that a lot of the fire still is like only halfway done.
It's
still
not
got
even halfway done.
A ways to go.
It's still ways to go. So I mean, this stuff is affecting our favorite celebrities, and I mean, just showing they're human too. You know, everyone's human. So if you get a chance, I mean, it's a lot of charities and things we can donate to, but I'm just throwing that out there. But we had to talk about it. It's happening.
Yeah, and the other bad part about it is that people don't think about is the air quality. You got all that stuff burning. Yeah. It ain't just trees. Like now, structures and rubber and toxic things that can be burning that's going in the air that everybody out there. They already have bad smog and everything. So this ain't doing nothing but making it worse. That much more worse. So. Blessings to the people of California. Blessings to this country.
Love that way, yes, to the country in general. Right. Donald Trump said he gonna go out there though.
Did he already go out there?
Probably.
He did, and then he blamed it. He tried once again. He kind of he just carried the people of California basically.
I mean, at this point, that's the whole But what I will say, y'all did get out and vote. I will say that
they did.
The Democrats that took over the House, took over 3 dozen chairs in the House. So
that means a little something.
It means something. It's just changing the game.
Get some power. Get a little bit of power.
It's gonna change it up a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a firm believer of Democrat, Republican. They all, at the end of the day, ain't about necessarily us. So in that regard, they all the same. However, at this point in life, any people that are decent and that are against the racism and the division that's going on in this country that's come from on top, I'm riding with them. So
our country has never been so blatantly divided. I mean, you got to think.
That's since civil rights and beyond, but from then till now, no.
That's basically what I'm saying. I mean, just to see how Obama dealt with the racism, the threats. It's just our country. We need some love, y'all. And this is the time that we really need to come together, support each other. Support each other like we never had before. For real.
We all we got.
We all we got, so.
We all we got, man. Yeah, so.
Let's lighten the mood a little bit. I've been telling Booth, it's something about my vibe. It could be like me and me nesting, but it's like when the camera come on, I get excited. But I'm just like, Boost Curtis show a little bit.
And look, I ain't had to, and I ain't even have to.
I'm like, Boost, just help a sister out. But it's just when them cameras come on, I'm so excited. I'm so at home. I miss you guys. It's time to get hype a little bit.
You love it. You love it.
A lot of stuff been going on that's been depressing. But maybe, this is kind of depressing.
The Redskins thing is just as depressing.
I was just about to say.
Bama's out there breaking their legs. And
Bama's. He do that on purpose.
No, I mean, it happens.
All I'm saying is, me just being me, and all I care about is beating the Cowboys. Is
Thanksgiving.
This could have happened after the Cowboys game.
But the thing is that I have full confidence that Colt McCoy can come in and at least do relatively as well as Alex Smith. It wasn't like Alex Smith was lighting it up.
It's not like he was lighting it up.
It wasn't like he was even actually having a good season. He was having an okay season. He wasn't throwing a lot of interceptions until the other day when he threw a pick six and another one. But nonetheless, Colt can at least come in and carry the team as well as Alex have been carrying it so far. Oh yeah,
he's been back up for a reason. Okay, but I'm not going to throw that out there. I want to put good vibes out there,
I ain't got no other choice at this point, too. And ain't nobody
because really all I care about is beating the Cowboys. So
I think we got a good shot of beating them. The Cowboys are kind of like on a run or a little high right now, so they feeling themselves. Honestly, but we got a shot.
The Cowboys is, what's his name? I should know this as much as I watch him. Eli? Is that the guy
That's the Giants.
No, hold up. What's the
talking about Zeke?
Zeke. Yeah.
The running back.
They better be able to stop him.
We did the first game.
Oh my, he warmed up now. So I'm just saying I'm watching him, and then Prescott, he kind of falling into it. I shouldn't know this much, but unfortunately I have a Dallas fan in the house, so I know a little more than I should know. But it's just like they heating up, boys. So I'm just saying we're gonna need to be ready and ready to attack. That's all I care about is beating the Cowboys. You don't care
if we lose any other game. You just want to beat the Cowboys.
That's it. The fact that we was in first place.
We still are.
We are.
We still are. Barely.
Yeah, but I'm saying the fact that we've been doing that hey, I'm all good in the neighborhood. Hey.
Well, a lot of people, one thing that came out of this whole thing is that we needed to get another backup quarterback because once Alex got hurt, we only had one quarterback on the roster. So, of course, immediately everybody, including myself, had mentioned Colin Kaepernick. But the team, I think the general manager or the president, Bruce Allen, was like, we're not going to draft him. And today we learned that they signed, we're not going to sign him. Today we learned they signed Mark Sanchez.
So he's just
the butt fumbler.
I was about to say, so he gonna just be the backup. He don't know the plays or anything like
that.
Well,
none of nobody they brought in would have known the plays. But the good thing is that we're not looking for him to play at all. Mark Sanchez shouldn't even touch the football field ever.
It's up to the defense team to. Who is it to protect the quarterback?
You don't know nothing about football, do you?
I know enough. I know the running back, the safeties, and all that. Y'all stop laughing at me. But
it's okay.
Yeah, they gonna have to protect the quarterback. They didn't protect the quarterback. That's why his leg was hanging.
It did look bad.
It looked so bad.
It looked real bad. But it was a freak accident. It was a random thing that just luck of the draw or whatever. But trust me, I think we're gonna be okay.
All right.
I think we're still gonna win the division. I'm saying it right now. I think we still gonna win a division, and then we're gonna mess around and get bounced out the playoffs in the first game or something.
Okay, well,
but nonetheless,
I'm gonna tell you this: Keyshawn is in the building.
Yes,
made it. So I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. So when we come back, because we about to go to break, I know y'all had enough of us. But his story is so amazing, guys. If you are not inspired, if you don't realize and understand that we can truly do anything and from nothing, we already starting from nothing and we still go so hard that we become the people that we become. So I'm going to let him tell his story as much as I want to just get into it. But when we come back from break, Chef Keyshawn Winston is going to join us on the stage.
Yeah.
And he gonna take over the show. Y'all, and he brought some food.
That's why I'm sitting over here, legs shaking, like I'm trying to tell you.
He brought some food. So if y'all are not here, y'all hungry. Y'all are hungry.
Told y'all to come through.
But we'll be back.
All right.
See y'all.
Niggas ain't trying to smoke. Ain't niggas slanging babies cause it got to go. Same all you niggas say me, you ain't even know. This is TSV OG, but it's cause it got to go.
I can't feel my face. I mean, I can touch it, but I can't feel it inside.
My cousin got the cold. My cousin got the cold, nigga. My cousin got the cold. My cousin got the cold, boy.
I can't hear myself. I don't know. I like to scream, but we back and we got Chef Winston. And what you like to be called?
Chef Keyshawn.
Oh, Keyshawn.
Yeah, it's fine.
We got Chef Keyshawn in the building. I'm so excited. Thanks
you for coming, man. Appreciate it.
Accepting the invitation.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
And I just want you to tell everybody about yourself. You know, how old are you? Where you from? Give them some background.
Well, born right here in the city, uptown Northwest. 40 years old, graduate of Coolidge Senior High School, and I just love cooking.
But how did you get there? How did you get there? Did you just like, you know how when you growing up you say, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that?
Well, ultimately, when I was in school, I really wanted to be a graphic designer. I felt like I had a God-given talent to draw, and I was drawn to the pad, the ink and the pad, and it wasn't until later on in life that I found myself in life situations, you know what I mean, that was out of my control, which led me to be homeless on the streets. Okay. And that kind of brought me into my passion. And I would have never thought that, my passion would be in the culinary field, even though it's a part of art, it's still art. Mm-hmm. I would have never thought that I would be, in this field.
So what I want you to do is, I want you to talk a little bit about, because again, here on the Buzy With B, we talk about and just want to inspire people.
Okay.
And I want you to start from what you were doing early on to become homeless, or that situation to happen,
Right.
because a lot of times we don't know. I know I'm a paycheck away,
Right.
but I'm just saying, share that story in hopes that we can inspire, because where you are now is you are that entrepreneur that don't work.
Right.
That you have your own business and you are very successful.
Right.
So let's go backwards, and then we're gonna go forward and celebrate you.
I guess growing up, my grandmother raised me, and growing up, I think what she had in the positive realm for me to follow, I kind of took the latter. Trying to be a follower, trying to, imitate or kind of be like the guys that was in my neighborhood, whether it was cousins, whether it was friends who I thought was friends. And as I got older, Grandma was like, "I'm not having that. Either you abide by the rules and regulations in the house, or you got to go." So I found myself displaced because I wanted to be, like those guys. Thought I was grown.
Thought you was grown out here.
and the guys I was trying to imitate and be like, they had nowhere for me to stay, So things kind of spiraled out of control. A couple of days went into a couple of weeks went into a month, months went into a year, and next thing you know, I was sleeping in a park in Tacoma Park, Maryland, going on my second winter, and that's when things really started to like take form, and it was a question, and I kept saying, God, I know that it's got to be something better for me than this. I recognize the damage I caused, where it was with family, where it was with friends and stuff like that. I recognize my wrongdoings, and once I became transparent with myself and honest with myself, that's when things started to unveil. So
God was working on you.
He was working.
And how old was you around that time?
I just had my first son. We're talking about 22, 23.
Right.
Yeah, about 22, 23, and and I always felt like I wasn't good enough, even with a child being here. I never felt like I was giving my all. I never felt equal to fatherhood. I felt like I was always behind. And nobody's giving a structure, nobody's giving a manual. But I didn't have those role models in my life. There was always the uncles. There was always, all the different boyfriends and who's gonna be steady, But they was more fixated on mom. They never took the reins to be, So I started to imitate them, where it was womenizing and stuff like that, because that's what I saw.
Right.
And I thought that was the way to be. But yeah, that's pretty much where everything started.
Okay, so yeah, we talking when we was homeless, we was there. So you was there, you overcame that. Let's talk about getting to the point where you got off that bench, and God was working on you already, and you was getting to the point where you got that first interview.
Right.
And let's talk about that.
So one particular day, it was cold, and I was hungry. I just got tired of being hungry, and I got tired of going in stores and testing out the fruits and all that type of stuff. And I was like, it's going to come to an end sooner or later. So one particular day, I knew that my background at the time was, the only jobs I had at the time was retail management. And I decided, I said, you know what's going to hurt for me to go to the library and try to do a resume. And while at the library trying to do my resume, I think Monster.com had just like took form, where it was really like hitting. And as I'm trying to type this resume, trying to get this retail job, because everybody was hiring it seemed like it. You know what I mean? Economy must have been different back then, because you can get a job back in them days.
Right.
But so I'm filling out this application. I kept getting these pop-ups, and the pop-ups kept saying line cook, dishwasher. I'm like, I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. I'm trying to finish this resume up. Line cook, dishwasher. Line cook, dishwasher. So while I'm there, I'm like, well, I don't have nothing else to do. It's warm in here. So I decided to do a resume, do a separate resume saying I worked in a restaurant. One thing led to another. I left, not thinking anything of it. I just went on to fill out the application and submitted it. It was for the Four Seasons Hotel in Georgetown, and I submitted it. And at the time I only had like a prepaid phone. It was like a track phone back then, and it was like 30 minutes into my walk. I was right in front of Walter Reed Hospital when I got a call, and it was a kitchen manager from the Four Seasons, and he said, I just received your resume. I would love for you to come in for an interview if you can come today. Now, lo and behold, I'm living in the street. I don't have no money. I don't know how I'm getting this interview. I'm not dressed.
I'm about to say, you're not dressed.
I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't up to par for this interview. But it was something. It was something inside of me. It was a drive inside of me that said, "This is your opportunity, at least to be able to get an opportunity for something else." And I hung up the phone. I told him I was on my way. I walked from Walter Reed Hospital to Georgetown, and when I got to the Four Seasons, I was like, I didn't even know where it was. Back then, no GPS. Right. Nobody was on there if you had a Garmin back then. Right. But I'm walking. I walked all the way down Connecticut Avenue until I got to M Street, and walked to the Four Seasons. A guy met me at the door. He said, I just lost my dishwasher. And he said, I would like to try you out. And if you like it and you're a good fit, I would love for you to, maybe we can work something out. And I got in there. I said, show me where the dish is at. Right. So once he showed me as he showed me the dishes and showed me what need to be done, I'm hearing all these pots and pans. I'm hearing people screaming for food, and it was like something took over me. It was like something came out of nowhere, and it was like, hey, this could be it. I love what they doing. I don't want to do what I'm doing right here. I want to do what they doing. And long story short, at the end of the night, I worked the whole shift. I got paid for that shift, and he asked me what I liked being part of the team. He liked the fact that I was multitasking, I was able to be fast, and I didn't have to wait for somebody to tell me that this is what needed to be done. I was very proactive, and he offered me the job, and it was, long story short, because I saw the guys eating, I was like, you guys get to eat? And they was like, yeah, we eat, we cook the food, we get to eat, you get to eat too. And that did it. I was never hungry again. Right. And
that's a testimony, man.
Yeah, put chills in my body.
And the way I got to cooking while I was there, one of the guys called out. It was during soccer season, and they had a lot of guys coming in that were from different countries that were very into soccer, and they was coming down to the restaurant, and they needed help on the line. It was busy. And
hold that for 1 second. Let the record show you didn't have really any experience.
I've never been to culinary school.
Never been to culinary school. No. So I'm just saying this is how God works.
Yeah,
you be having one thing. It's just about taking that first step. So I wanted to stop him in the middle of his story because I wanted to point the fact out that he had no experience when he started this. Okay, so I might. From time to time in, but go ahead, continue.
So I one of the guys called out. They were very busy, and the kitchen manager came to me. He was like, they called me Key. He couldn't say my whole name, and he said, I need you on the line. You think you can do it? I need you on the saute. And I'm like, I could do it. I didn't watch because what I did was, I washed the dishes so fast so I could see what the guys were doing because that's what I wanted to do. Right. And if I get these dishes washed, I got downtime so I could see. Not downtime so I could just hang out, but I was focused. It was like I was in class and I asked questions and
that was your culinary school.
That was it. That was it. I got hands on right then and there, and God surrounded me with people in that space to train that was willing to train because I was willing to learn. And and he put me on the line that night, and it was like everything else was the world was my oyster after that. It was like, dude, we can do this every night. If you can do this every night, we can do this every night. He gave me a salary that night, so I went from and not bragging or boasting, I went from having nothing, and that's in that course of time having nothing, just a regular little paycheck that was able to do a little bit here and there. It was able to get by, to more money than I had ever made.
What I'm saying is, when he moves, he could change your life just like that. He just like a light switch. Like that.
It was like a light switch,
and it's just like that. Like just like that. It's just about you. So I won't even bring me up. But when you just walking by faith and you can't always see everything, you just gotta do it. You just gotta go. Like a lot of times, even the way I'm moving now, and it's just like I don't see it. I'm just walking by faith and I'm just doing what's placed on my heart and on the inside. And I tell y'all almost week by week that continuously God has birthed things one thing after another. This was just a live internet show. Who knew it would be my brand, my business, my baby? Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, like, wow. Just amazed at just what God has done and doing in your life. So we talked about the rough part. You know, we worked up to the good part, you know. So you off the bench, you in the restaurant.
I'm in the restaurant. One restaurant led to another restaurant. It was.
But he was at the Four Seasons, though.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure I
He wasn't at Red Lobster.
You know, I want to make sure I mean,
it wasn't Red Lobster or
first job off,
Four Seasons.
off the bench in the Total Park. Was the Four Seasons, so if that wasn't just like that, but God was working on you. He broke you down to get you.
You know, and you're absolutely right. And I had to learn later on in life that after becoming more spiritual and more connected with Him, that everything is destined. Like everything I've done has already been predestined. It's already. Before I was formed in my mother, it was already done. Right. It was, and back then I didn't see it. I just saw that I was trying to not open, just walk through doors. I was trying to kick doors open because I found a passion. Like it was nothing that I wouldn't do, whether it was, and I was never too good to sweep the floors, to, empty the trash. I always stay humble. Even to this day, I stay humble. Because I know where I could be, and opposed to where I am now. So, but I went on to different restaurants and channels of different genres of food, different culinary fields as far as French cuisine and Italian cuisine, to all these different things that I should have been going to school for. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Knife skills I should have been going to school for. Right. I learned all this by sight and watching other chefs and them just taking a liking to my eagerness to learn and being passionate about it, and then things just started to graduate from there.
So how many years was it before you decided, or before it was time? Because sometimes it's not when we decide, because God will work it out. I mean, how much time was it between the time that you was like, oh, this is what I'm doing on my own? This is going to be with one step after another. I had been cooking for a while,
and then I had landed a job at a law firm, and in the law firm, we had the mailroom, we had the records department, and we had hospitality. And in hospitality, we got a lot of people bringing food in from these different companies. Now, I've been cooking in restaurants, and I just pitched one of the head litigators in the law firm. I said, Hustler. Yeah, I said, you guys get corner bakery, y'all got all these. I just need to bring you a plate. And once I bring a plate, can we see if we can work something out, and because they were doing happy hour every Fridays, you know what I mean? And people was dropping off food. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I can do this. You know what I mean? I could do it. I cook way better than this. And that was my thinking. I'm like, even if me not going to school.
Everybody that cook, they cook better than that.
I got this. I got this. I can elevate this to a whole nother level. And then they gave me a shot. But then they kind of backtracked and everybody's palate's not the same. Right. Everybody's not receptive to what you have to offer, and and when you work in a firm, it's very diverse. Mm-hmm. So everybody don't want all that seasoning. Some people want it bland. Right. So
some people.
Right. So I had to I took a step back and I continued to work work in the mailroom and do the things that I was doing there. And one particular day, it was right before it's crazy. It's like around this time. It was right before the holidays, right before Christmas. One of the top lawyers of the firm, he sent postcards to everybody in the firm. And I thought about just his leisure, the time that he had with his family, all his free time, because, he made good, he was the man, Right. And the postcard came around and it had pictures of him, his children, and his wife. They were in all these countries. And biggest day said happy holidays, and that lit a fire under me that day. I went to my desk. I told one of the guys that work with me, I said, today is my last day. I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice. And it did something to me inside. Mm-hmm. It was like, I'm sitting here going through the motions for this guy to live the life that he's living.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I knew, I already knew, I always felt like I had an entrepreneurial spirit because my grandmother owned restaurants growing up and stuff like that. So it was already in me. They had construction companies and all that. But I wanted to do my own thing. Like I said in the beginning, I wanted to do my own thing. But yeah, I typed up my 2 weeks notice. I put it in. I packed my little box, my little plant and pictures, and that was my last day. It was it, and I just stepped out on faith. I didn't even know. I didn't even know what avenue I was going.
And that's
I gave up a paycheck. It was a steady paycheck.
Steady.
Yeah, I gave it up. It was. I needed to be my own boss. I needed to be, and to this day, like it just does something to me to have someone tell me that even in to each his own. Everybody's got to do what they got to do to take care of theirs. You know, even my friends, you know, they know. Even they're government workers, they're teachers, they're this. They still got to punch this clock that I'm not willing to punch because I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I just don't want to do it because even with these high paying jobs, you still answer to someone. Yeah. And that was like. It was just in me that this is not. It's like people that say college is not for me. You know what I mean? Right. After high school, this is it. I want to do something else.
Well,
it was
working
like
not for me either. But you know, one of the hardest things is to really step out on faith. You know, when you've been so structured. You know,
that was brave, man. That was brave.
It's not only brave, but it's just him trusting the process.
Right.
You know, and that's amazing.
It was like I knew. It was like
you know.
It was like I was on the elevator. It was like something got inside of me and said, this is it. It was no calling somebody, hey, you think I should leave? Yeah. It was none of that. It was like, Keyshawn, this is you need to leave. This is not for you. This is you're supposed to be doing something else. And in the course of that, past that, what validated that day after I had already was gone, somebody asked me do their baby shower. Somebody asked me do their baby shower.
Cook
for their baby shower, right?
What was your
And at the end of the baby shower, I stood around because it was a family friend. I stood around, helped clean up, and it was at a hall. And the way the kitchen was set up, it was a window that looked into the hall, so you could see the people in there, you know. And we're cleaning up, and I hear these two ladies. They're on the outside, but I can't see them. I just hear the conversation while I'm washing these dishes. And one of the ladies said, hey, did you get some of that macaroni and cheese? The lady said, I got a plate with nothing but macaroni and cheese. And in my mind, I'm like, they like my macaroni and cheese.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
In my mind,
Right.
I'm still, I'm still going, because I never been to school. I'm just doing what I learned, watching grandma in the kitchen, remembering recipes, all that. So, that wasn't a validation. That wasn't a stamp of it.
Right.
It was when I got ready to leave. Now, the whole time we had been at this place, I never seen this lady that walked up to me. She looked like she had traveled the world and taste food everywhere. She looked like she was seasoned. I don't like to say senior citizen. Yeah. She was seasoned.
Right.
And she came to me and she said, baby, I heard you did the food. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, I just want to let you know that it blessed my soul. You touched me with this food. And she told me, she said, I don't know you from anything. I don't know what your occupation is, but if it's not this is what it need to be. And that's when I knew.
Yeah, that's confirmation.
That was when I said, I'm done. There'll be no more applications being filled out. I'm not gonna do no W-2s no more. I'm gonna sign 1099s. Okay. And that was it. And then things just started snowballing in a positive direction.
You was walking in your purpose. You know, you was walking in your purpose, and I mean, the story is just amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And one of the reasons why I went ahead and streamed on my Facebook, I didn't want no one to miss it, you know, really, because I knew when I first heard it how it blessed my soul. And he gave me confirmation, you know, because I'm stepping out on faith, and, you know, it's just amazing. You know, who, like, God put people around you, and like, I'm really doing something that I'm in love with. And it's just hearing entrepreneurs like Keyshawn come onto the show and just tell his story. It speaks to me. It motivates me. Boots, how you feel about that?
Absolutely.
You know?
It make you want to get up and do something. Or just pay attention to yourself and pay attention to what God is telling you.
And pay attention to the people around you. Everyone is not for you. You know, and it's okay, you know what I'm saying? It's okay, really. You know, it's just learn how to really deal and learn who really cheering for you and who want to see you reach the next level. Sometimes God will take everything from you, take everybody from you. You have no one. You may feel lonely. You may feel trust and believe me, it's okay.
Yes, it is okay.
It's okay.
Sometimes it's the best time.
Right.
when you're by yourself,
when
it's
I'm
the best.
alone,
That's the only time he can touch you.
Yeah, that's the only time he can get to you. So he will remove the things you love the most or the people you feel like you love the most. But in that, you gain so much. So I really appreciate Keyshawn.
And we all.
And he like a new friend to the show.
I wanted to ask you. So we heard about everything you went through. So where are you now? What do you do now? Tell everybody what do you do now?
So what my career kind of catapulted. One of the last I want to say restaurant jobs that I had, and this is like this is like the ultimate. I got to run a smokehouse over at Andrews Air Force Base, and this one particular day, it was raining, and I was told that President Obama and Vice President Biden, they played golf there, and they were going to be there this one particular Friday. So I said, okay, no problem, On
the base?
On the base.
Okay.
It's the presidential golf course.
Okay.
On Andrews Base. And I said, okay. So we were given the itinerary, what we were supposed to make for them and all this good stuff. And it was pretty much sandwiches that we sent out. And the people that I was working for at the time, wouldn't allow our faces to be seen. They wanted to take the food out on the golf cart and all this good stuff. They did this on a regular basis. There's one particular day. This how God worked.
I'm already ready for it.
So this one particular day, it was raining off and on. It was hot outside. It was one of them summer days where it's just raining and stopping, and it get real humid. And I'm getting ready to leave. Work. We had been there like bright and early, like 5:36 in the morning. And I'm getting ready to walk out my office. I'm taking my jacket off. And one of the sous chefs said, Chef, it's raining outside. I think the president's coming in here to eat. I said, listen, I don't have time for games. I'm tired. I'm ready to go home.
Don't be playing with my emotions, man.
He said, no. I'm being for real. And before he could continue talking, Secret Service man walked in front of my window in front of the office, and he was like, I'm setting a perimeter. And I said, hold on, wait a minute. You setting the perimeter? You setting the what perimeter? Right. I don't know what's happening. Like I had an in-body experience.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, chef, the president's coming in, and he wants to know if you guys can whip up something a little extra. It's raining outside, and they want to see what the restaurant's got. Other than the sandwiches and stuff you guys sent out, which was still amazing. He just want to see if you guys got anything else. I lost it in my inner body, lost it. Right. So because I had to like act like I hadn't done this before, you know what I mean? I had to put on the front,
Obama.
Yeah. So and the way the restaurant was set up, it was a la carte, So the soldiers would come in, they would order their food, and we would serve them either on the hot grill or the flat top. And I'm like losing it. Like my whole staff is like, they don't know what to do. So I go out and I'm like, sure, we could do this. We had just did a wedding. We had just had a wedding the day before. So I knew what I had in my walk-ins, my freeze, all this crab meat. He was going to get it all.
Yeah.
Whatever I could whip up, he was going to get it. This is my time.
Right.
This is a Super Bowl.
This is it. Because the guy who wouldn't allow us to do anything did not come to work that day.
He was not there. That's God.
So what happened was I went out and he was the Secret Service guy said, I want you to come out. He wants to, meet you. I want you to come out to the front. And I'm like, I'm standing behind the glass. It's kind of like set up like Subway. I'm standing behind the glass, but it's like this one little opening because we used to carve our brisket in front of you so you could see how the brisket is being cut. So I'm standing there. I'm looking at the picture frame on the wall across from us. I see the silhouette of him. I hear his voice. I'm losing it. Like I'm really losing it now. So he proceeds down the wall, down the hallway, and he stands in front of me. He just looked at me. He was like, "Hey, I heard you did the sandwiches. Good job. Can you whip up something else?" I'm like, "What is going on?" I'm looking at him like, "Wow, are you serious, dude?" So you know what I mean. He said, "I'm going to be right over here." Next thing I know, like I turned to straight Gordon Ramsay on the fly because the staff I worked with, they was used to me, joning and laughing. We having a good time. You were not clocking out. Don't ask to clock out. I need you on this. I need you on that. And everybody look at what you talking. I said, the president is here. What are you going to do? The ones that want to go home, see you. Bye. You know what I mean? But everybody else that stayed, we got it done. So I'm still,
What y'all cook, though?
Oh man, I sent out some baguettes. I sent out this serious lump crab meat dip. I sent out what else? I smoked some ribs. We still had some smoked ribs. We just took out the smoker. They had smoked for like 17 hours. It wasn't even no bone. The bone had almost disintegrated. That's how long they smoked. But we just sent out like some chips and stuff like that just to keep them occupied until, because I knew they wanted to get back to golfing. Yeah. So before they got ready to leave, I'm high-fiving my team. I'm everybody's congratulating each other. We did a good job, and so we're getting ready. I'm getting ready to leave, and then the Secret Service man came back again, and he had told me, he said the president would like for you to come in and have a word with him, and I said okay. Okay. So we they escort me into the room. He's on his cell phone. He was like, have a seat. And I was like, okay, all right. He said, so he gets off the phone. He was like, tell me a little bit about yourself. So I'm telling him my story.
Oh, wow.
And he was the ultimate validation. He was the ultimate because he sealed it. He was like, this is what you were put here to do. And the rest is history.
So you sat down and had a conversation.
I shared
Obama.
We shared a sandwich. I had a half a brisket sandwich. He had the other half. So yeah.
You chilled with him. Yeah,
basically. We got to hang out for. He was so down to earth, man. He had his Nike flip flops on, no socks, little t-shirt, little Nike hat, toes out. He was just hanging out and like leaned back in his chair, like just hanging out. I'm like, okay,
that's dope, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an awesome opportunity. Like God blessed me with that. And ever since that day, everything has been. He gave me a presidential gold coin that you can only get from the president. And he said, "This is where you need to be. You're in your wheelhouse. This is where you need to be."
That's amazing, man.
It was he just stamped it, and I've been just rolling ever since.
Woo!
How long ago was that?
This is almost 3.5 years, almost
fresh.
2.5
fresh.
3 years.
Yeah.
That's fresh.
Yeah. Amazing. Though.
That's great.
Amazing.
Along with that, because that's one of the most amazing stories I ever heard in my life. But along with that, so what do you do now? Like, are you just? I
just run my catering business pretty much. I used to have a spot where they closed down, but I'm pretty much running my catering business from home. I stay in Waldorf now, and I do the same things I've been doing, the weddings and all the other stuff. And now I've gotten into like the meal prep, so I'm working with a lot of people, with diabetes. I'm touching these nursing homes where a lot of our parents, a lot of our family members, they're eating, but they're not really eating, and they can eat good food and still be on their plan, I even, for my dad's in the nursing home in Laurel, and I know the food he gets is like, son, bring me a crab cake, bring me something, you know what I mean? Because it's not, it's
he
it's not.
Spoiled.
Yeah, he know.
Yeah, he already know.
Yeah, he already know. And so that's pretty much. And right now I'm waiting on God because I don't want to rush him. I know not to rush. For me to just, I really wanted a standalone place. I really wanted something on the strip mall, but now I see myself. Not only do I want my own spot, but I think my real calling was to cater to people that don't have. I need to give back to the ones who, like when I didn't have, I want to, you know what I mean? And I'm working alongside with my wife and her brother. They have a nonprofit where they reach out to, homeless families and stuff like that. Okay. And this Thanksgiving, where I'm working with her brother. He owns his own nonprofit called Fly by Nature. Nonprofit, and he works with all the adolescent kids about bullying and stuff like that. And shout out to Vic. And so we're gonna be giving out dinners. I'm catering to the homeless, but I'm catering on a whole different scale. They're not eating out of containers and stuff like that. Right. Like I'm coming with my professional chafing dishes, at least for this one day. Yeah. They get to feel like we get to feel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Let me know. I'd love to bring my daughter in so she can see it and be a part of that. I've been looking to do that.
So that is my ultimate that will be my satisfaction is to feed those that can't feed themselves. So
I'm just hoping that you guys paid attention. This guy is amazing. I mean, he came from nothing, to feeding the president of the United States.
Right.
So I mean, I wanted him to share his story. You did a great job, by the way.
Absolutely.
You did it like this is what you do. I mean, you did a really great job. So thank you. And you brought some food. I don't see any forks. I was gonna tease you.
I'm gonna punish her tonight, though. You better believe that.
Yeah. That's.
Wifey, don't even ask me for nothing, cause I'm punishing her.
Keyshawn gonna come back to the show. He don't know. We're gonna do a relationship show, and his wife is in the building. So she. Is she?
No, she ain't.
She's still outside. Look, you see all these women. One of them gotta be his wife.
What?
I done married him off
Again.
One of them gotta be his wife. One of them.
I just got married. Look at you.
He about to get through.
Trying to get you in trouble early.
Knowing she got Sonic ears. So
You
it's like
know,
in the car. You're like, oh yeah.
What they were saying about your wife?
Right.
But okay, but Keyshawn will be back. We're gonna do a relationship show.
That's gonna be awesome.
Him and his wife, and we like to tackle all that good stuff on Buzy With B. And I want Keyshawn to tell you guys where you can find him.
You can find me at kwinstons.com. You can also find me at my email is kwinstonscatering123@gmail.com. And for all your meal preps, all your catering needs, we'll take care of it. We got you.
I'm definitely going to look you up because I need to get back down to my 140, okay? I'm lying. I was like more like one. Yeah, thank you guys for always supporting the Buzy With B brand show. I'm so indebted to this guy right here. Thank you so much, Boots, for joining me.
Always a pleasure.
Making
Always
this
a pleasure.
real love and making this real passion. I'm looking for sponsors for the show. So if you like your business to be sponsored, you want us to
wear your
promote
t-shirts, put your coffee mugs, to do something like come on at us.
It's that time we are getting the views, and I mean people are watching and paying attention.
I mean, it's Listen Vision, of course, man.
Listen Vision Live.com each and every Monday right here.
Y'all make sure y'all tune in.
That's right. Anything, Boots?
No, just thank y'all for tuning in.
And we're gonna see y'all next week.
Next week?
Yeah, who is our guest next week?
I'll keep that a secret until next week.
We're gonna keep that a secret until next week. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm so excited. I'll see you guys here next Monday.
All right.
Peace.